Welcome everyone to another session, another interactive session on career guidance. Today we are going to learn about chartered accountancy, um, and we have with us CA Sandesh Gavandalkar, who is a qualified chartered accountant, and he has enough experience in the field to talk more about it and the various aspects that come with it. So, welcome Sandesh to this show, and thanks for doing this.
Thank you, Saurabh. A very good evening to all. Let me start with just brief introduction about myself.
I was about to ask you to introduce yourself, but you can go ahead.
Yeah. So my name is Sandesh Gavandalkar, and I'm a chartered accountant. My education qualification is I'm a bachelor's of business administration from Brihan Maharashtra College of Commerce, that is in Pune, under Pune University. And later on, after completion of my BBA, in fact, during the last year of my BBA, I had given entrance exam of Chartered Accountancy. That time it was called CPT. And by the time I cleared BBA, I was free to join CA course. And after, in May 2015, I qualified. That is, I passed both groups of final, and I qualified as a chartered accountant. And later on, where I did my articleship, that is the internship for 3 years, compulsory you have to do that. I will come to that. While discussing the course, I will brief you about that. Where I did my articleship, Mr. Shailesh Usgaonkar is a chartered accountant. So I joined him as a qualified assistant. I'd worked there as his assistant, and then later on I joined HDFC Bank as a credit manager, mostly unsecured loan. That was very brief time, and then later on I found that that is not my cup of tea, so I quit that, and presently I'm doing business consultancy, and I'm also into my family business. Okay.
Sandesh, thanks for the wonderful introduction. Before we jump into learning more about the various aspects of this profession, I often hear that CA is one of the most difficult courses to crack, and one of the, of course, the most respected profession in the country. So before we go deep into learning various aspects of it, maybe in very simple terms, can you describe what is chartered accountancy?
What is chartered accountancy? Actually, I always give this example sort of thing, like it's very that is something which I got inspired. Well, everybody, no matter who, even kids, adults, they have some role model or celebrities like Amitabh Bachchan, Virat Kohli, Sachin Tendulkar, and everybody is after them to take autographs. Okay. But one fact is that all these celebrities, all these big people, they have to go after CA to get their autograph. Okay, at least once in a year. So I mean, and that too with a fee. Okay, so that's the power of a chartered accountant. It's the power of signature of a chartered accountant. So basically, what is chartered accountant? Technically, chartered accountant is a person who's a member of the Institute of Chartered Accountancy, that is ICAI, we call it. The ICAI, it's a parent body, and it's a statutory body which was set up by an act of parliament. So the chartered accountants, actually, the parent body has a statutory backing. Okay. So now this is a chartered accountant as per the definition. It has a legal definition also. So by definition, this is the definition. Now, what exactly a chartered? Because this is a very technical term. So what exactly a chartered accountant, or what exactly it does? Okay, basically, it's chartered accountancy is a profession of various fields like accounting, auditing, taxation, business management, etc. So what I will just briefly discuss about all this.
Maybe in one liner, you can tell what does a chartered accountant do? How?
Yeah. So these are the fields. So like in account, I mean, what is accounting? Accounting is a systematic recording of
So do
the
you want to
transaction
like
of
directly
business.
jump into the different aspects? Like you want to cover the courses. Maybe you can talk about what are the various courses, what are the various aspects that you learn in chartered accountancy course. I think that would
Yes, yes.
be
So
better.
that exactly will define what exactly a chartered accountant does. So like in accounting is it's a systematic process of recording transactions. So like chartered accountants, I mean this accounting, it's a language. Okay. So like for example, we are talking in English, right?
Yeah.
Because English is a standard language, we know what we are talking about. When I say this sentence, you comprehend it, and you know what exactly I'm trying to say. So
Yeah.
even like that, accountancy, like in business, okay, take whatever business, the small business, big business. You can take Reliance Industry, or you can take any Kirana this thing. He will say, I have earned say profit of 1 lakh, or I have earned profit of 1,000 crores. So what exactly is this? So that when I say that Kirana Dukan is earning 1 lakh profit, and
Reliance
say
Industries.
Reliance is earning 1,000 crore profit. So you can compare these two businesses, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that is accounting. So based on accounting, we know where the business stands. So it's a language which tells people like what exactly is or what is the financial position of the business. So basically the accounting is a process of recording and then all the transactions, and then systematically put it in a format which is understood by the people. So we have something called as profit and loss statement, financials, balance sheet. So which gives you the overall picture of the business. Okay, so this is as far as accounting is concerned. So chartered accountant basically works in, and plus there are various standards, because each countries have different standards. India has India's, so like that US has US gap. Then there's something called as IFRS, that is International Financial Reporting System. So all this works for for a standardized language, so that person from India, when he reads balance sheet of a US company, he knows what exactly what is
Okay.
the position of the business, like that.
Sure.
So chartered accountants work in this, like the presentation of the this thing, financial statements, etc. Then something comes later on, comes as a auditing. Okay, now what exactly is auditing? Auditing is the examination of this statements. Okay, when a company says that they have earned so much of profit, or they say that they are worth so much. Okay, so who will believe them? So then next part comes is the chartered accountants who audit these statements. Okay, by auditing we mean they check whether whatever company says, whatever figures which they have given, whatever they claim to, whether it is correct, whether it is fair. So then the auditing meaning basically checking. Okay, so if
Okay.
there are like you must have heard many window dressing of the I'm going into technical, like uh, everybody wants to attract investors. Okay,
Yeah.
everybody wants to show profit, or sometimes it is adverse also, like they want to suppress the profit to avoid taxes.
Okay.
So then even government trust CA, so that they go to the financial, and then they give their own opinion whether it gives a correct picture, or whether they don't give a correct picture, or what if it is not giving a correct picture, what should be the correct picture.
Okay.
Okay, so basically chartered accountant is a bridge between government and the public. Okay, a government cannot go into each and every house or each and every business, and uh, 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 see
Very
whether
fun.
they are doing, yes, whether they are doing everything correctly, whatever they are saying is true, or this thing. So then this is a breach. The chartered accountants, what they do, they audit, and the government trust the chartered accountants report, and they go ahead with this.
I
Okay,
see.
so yeah, so this is as far as auditing is concerned.
Sure.
Then in the field of taxation. Okay, so now India has a lot of taxes. Basically there are two types of taxes: direct tax and indirect tax. Direct tax is tax which is collected directly through the person who is earning the income,
Okay.
and indirect tax is a, like for example, goods and service tax. You buy the products, you are supposed to pay the tax, but the shopkeeper will collect on behalf of you, and then shopkeeper will pay to the government. So it's basically two categories of the taxes. So there is income tax, then there is goods and service tax, then there is excise duty, custom duty, then there is something called as value added tax, then local body taxes.
Sure.
So basically the chartered accountant is trained to comprehend all these laws. Okay. So this will the chartered accountants helps company to comply with all these tax laws. Like for example, goods and service tax, like the business will come to a chartered accountant to see whether they have complied to each and every, because nowadays there are a lot of compliances which has to be done by the companies. So they will come to a chartered accountant or chartered accountant, in-house chartered accountant. They will guide the company whether they are complying to the tax laws or not. Okay. At the same time, they can approach a CA, or CA guides them what is the optimum way to use the resources so that the taxes will come down.
Okay.
So that we call it as a tax planning. So chartered accountant plays a very important role, because there are so many aspects in the law wherein you can save the taxes. Okay. Like for example, there are certain schemes which the government or maybe there are certain specific place related schemes or product related schemes where you can save the taxes. So all these things, the chartered accountant has a in-depth knowledge of this taxation, and then you can guide, chartered accountant guide in this, or is an expert in this field. And there is something called as financial management, or rather there are many things. So in financial management, basically, like, okay, so this is what I say always: wherever there is money involved, a chartered accountant has a scope in that. Okay. So like, so where business, obviously finance is the important thing. So finance in each and every capital budgeting, you can say, or inventory management, everything, you can be a consultant, or you can guide a company. For example, I'm just giving you like, this happens like for a small firm or small business. If they want a finance, they will go to a bank, they will ask for a loan, or they will borrow from their relatives, like that. So there are a lot of sources of funds. Okay. So chartered accountant is an expert in this area, so wherein he can guide a company, like from which source to, like, whether to go for a bank borrowing, or you can go for borrowings from the public, like that. So then there are different cost of this thing. So all these things is done by a chartered accountant, or it can be done by anything, but chartered accountant is an expert in this field.
And this comes
like,
under financial management.
Yes. Like for example, I will tell you, when I say that I'm borrowing from a bank at the rate of say 8% interest. Okay. So this 8%, still there are a lot of cost involved. Okay. So there is something called as borrowing from the market, from the public, or issuing a share. So then there is something, the cost is the dividend which we pay. And in terms of bank borrowing, we pay something called as interest. Okay. So when we pay a dividend at the rate of 8% and we pay interest at the 8%, both looks same. The cost of this thing, I'm just giving you an example. It looks same, but it doesn't. It's not as easy as it looks, because when you pay an interest, you get a benefit in taxation. So then that is like little
benefit
cheaper. Yes. So all this criteria we have to see, and you can be an expert in all these things when you're a chartered accountant. You can you can be a trader in this thing, because chartered accountants are trained in such a way that he knows in-depth knowledge of the financial statements. So looking at a financial statements, he can give a proper consultation whether which investments to go, which shares to buy, etc. So basically, these are what a chartered accountant does. There are a lot of with the advancement of technology and economy, there are a lot of scopes which has come into it. Now chartered accountants have also gone into information technology, wherein the auditing of information technology. So a lot of
IT
weightage is given to the IT knowledge also. So yeah, so basically this is all. Traditionally I would say, like CA, when anybody terms or the term CA comes, it only is restricted towards taxation and the accounting and the auditing.
Okay.
So these are something new fields which
Yes,
a chartered accountant can build his career.
yeah. So I see that this is actually very fascinating, and I see that there is a lot of scope for chartered accountancy in the future, and of course in the present world. So
Yes.
you spoke about different aspects of you spoke about different courses that one learns, like taxation, auditing, accounting. Is it like after your bachelor's degree, or is there something called a bachelor's degree, and after that do you pursue like a specialization in whatever field interests you? Like for example, if you're more inclined toward taxation, do you specialize in that?
Yeah, so for this I will just answer briefly what exactly is this course and how this course is structured.
Sure.
Okay. uh, See, this is more of a correspondence course. There are many people ask from which college you did chartered accountancy. There is no college as such. Okay, I told you earlier that there is a body called as
I
Institute of
see. Yeah.
Chartered Accountants. Yeah. So this course is a standardized course, wherein the syllabus and everything is a standardized. The pattern of examination, in fact the question paper also, like if you answer in Delhi and you answer in Goa or you answer in Chennai, the questions will be the same. Okay,
Okay.
so it is this is a very standard course. So yeah, so basically if you want to do a CA, there are two ways to do it. One,
Sure.
you can do it immediately after 12th standard. Okay. It I mean, there is no compulsion of you have to be from a commerce stream, you have to be from art stream, you have to be from science, nothing like that. Only thing is that if you are from commerce stream, it helps you because the subjects are common and you pick it up little faster. Otherwise, if you are from science background, arts background, no problem, you just have to work on certain this thing, or give more weightage or more time to
Efforts
certain,
for
like for example
learning.
accounting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so those things I mean, because of 12 commerce, it becomes little easy in a sense. You have already started the
You're
course,
already
like
aware of those subjects from school,
exactly.
from going to school and learning from your teachers.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is the first way of after 12.
So
So
if I understand it right, there are no colleges like in engineering or other fields, but there is this one central governing body which, uh,
yes.
so you can actually be a world-class professional by sitting at home, just through correspondence.
True,
Okay.
exactly.
Okay.
So, and that's the speciality of this course, because
Great.
there is no, like, I mean, no offense to any any
Other field.
other
Yeah.
fields, but I'll just give an example of engineer. Like engineering, when you're passed from institute like IIT,
Yeah.
and you passed from some
Like a local, any
local,
other
yeah.
college, which is not like
So
a
there is a
college.
difference, right? Both are engineers, but there is a huge difference. The person from IIT and the other person, there is a huge difference. But here in chartered accountancy, it's a standardized course. So even person who has done sitting in Delhi at his home
Same
is
as
equal to
someone who is
person
new.
who, yeah, in Pune. And there is no coaching classes as such. It's not mandatory. People do take coaching classes. So once you pass the exam, you are equal. Okay, it doesn't matter whether you have taken coaching classes or whether you have not taken
Sure.
coaching classes. So it's
So that
as standard as it.
so that course that you do, or the or those courses which you complete through the correspondence, it starts after your 12th standard, right?
Yeah, no, there are two ways to
Okay.
come into it. So I was talking about the first one, that after
Yeah.
12. So after 12 there is something called as foundation. So that's an entrance exam which will test you your basic knowledge of economics, accounts, mathematics and statistics, and mercantile law. So this basic, and it's MCQ based test. So you have to first clear this, and once you clear this, you come into intermediate course. Okay.
Okay.
So intermediate course, there are basically two groups of 8 subjects.
So how much time does it take from 12th to like the entrance that you spoke about? Is it soon
Yeah,
after the
so
12th you can register for the common test?
when you are in 12th standard itself, you can
You can.
register for the
Okay.
foundation course. So that immediately after you pass your, or after you answer your 12th, you can answer the foundation, so that you don't waste your time.
Okay.
You can do it after 12th also, no problem.
Sure.
Okay, so after foundation you enter intermediate, and intermediate, there are as I told you, there are 2 groups, total 8 subjects, which covers accounting, financial management, auditing, information technology. I'm not giving you the precise
Sure. I mean,
names of the subjects.
that can be found on the website, I think, or other
Yes,
internet sources.
so
Okay.
basically this is the corporate law,
Okay.
okay, and allied laws. So these are basically the subjects which is involved in intermediate. So you have to pass one group in intermediate, and then you can start your articleship, that is the internship, for the period of 3 years. Every person who wants to be a chartered accountant has to compulsorily go through this articleship. So
Okay.
this is one of the very few courses which gives you on-job training, you can say. Okay, so your practice, whatever you learn, you can apply that in the practice in these 3 years. So whatever you learn in your curriculum, like
Can apply it.
taxation, accounting, you can apply it here, or you can see how it is applied.
Sure.
Okay. There are very few courses which gives you such on job training.
Yeah.
Mostly some of this thing, there are requirement of that, but it is post qualification.
Yeah.
Okay, so then when you complete this three years, or you can do it after 2.5 years of completion, you can answer your final exam.
Okay.
And final exam again has 2 groups. So once you clear all the subjects, 2 groups, then you become a chartered accountant.
Okay.
Okay, so this is one. And second route, which is simple, after graduation you can
So
directly
let us clarify on the first route. After 12th, you answer or during your 12th, right after you clear 12th, you answer your common exam, which is the common, I think, the proficiency
foundation
test.
It is called as foundation test. Yeah.
Okay. And then you clear your intermediate exam, and then you do your 3 years of articleship or an internship.
Yeah.
And then you
Yes.
answer the final CA exam, right?
Yes. So basically there are 3 levels. Level 1 is foundation, level 2 is intermediate, level 3 is final.
So I have
Okay.
another question. How much time does it take if you choose this route to get your CA degree? What's the minimum and the maximum time that one can take?
Maximum time, there is no maximum time.
Okay.
Minimum, it takes 3 years of articleship, around 4 and a half years.
Okay.
Okay.
So
So
that
it
is the
all
minimum
depends on
time
when
that
you clear your.
That's the minimum time that you require to become.
Yes, because in foundation you need after 12th, maybe you need 6 months for foundation. Okay, so then intermediate, maybe another 6-9 months.
Okay.
And
3 years of articleship, and then
3 years of articleship. And in fact 3 years of article, you can, after completion of 2.5 years, you can give final. So that 6 months you can count in this thing. And while doing your articleship of 3 years, you get some minimum leave for preparing for your exams. So around 4.5 years maybe. And it all depends on when you
clear. No limit on the maximum. Like, I think this is one of the course that gives you a lot of time, and you can take it at your own pace.
Yes.
Okay.
That is true. And so it all depends on how many numbers of attempts you take to clear the exam. So that is the maximum. There is no limit.
So unlike engineering entrance exams, which gives you 1 or 2 attempts to crack the exam and get through the course, in CA there are there's no upper limit on.
One more, I just want to like, if you just because you have mentioned about engineering, all these courses, engineering, medicine, the entry is very difficult. It's tough. But once you enter into the engineering or medicine field, you are sure shot. You have
a degree
that.
For sure. Okay.
Yes. But here in CA course, it is totally opposite. The entry is very easy. The exit is very difficult.
Sure.
Because the difficulty level goes on increasing.
Okay. So you mean entry, like the foundation is easier, but it gets really tough when you go to intermediate.
Yes. But because the passing percentage also matters. Passing percentage is there is a perception it's very low.
Yeah, I think it is one of the most difficult courses to crack in India. Yeah.
not difficult to crack
It
as
was a
such,
lot
but
of
if you,
hard work. I think we'll come to that aspect also.
yes, yes,
But
that's
this was
that's
what was the second route that you can choose?
second route is it is called as direct route. So after graduation, if you are a commerce graduation, you need a minimum of 55%. Then you can directly enter into intermediate. So you can skip the foundation.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. And if you're not a non-commerce graduate, then you need minimum of 60% and you can enter into intermediate and you can start the articleship. So basically you enter directly enter into level 2 of intermediate.
Okay. So you can skip the foundation?
Yes.
I see.
If you have a degree, if you are from a commerce commerce degree, then minimum 55% you need. If you
In
don't have
standard 12th?
55%, then you have to answer the test.
In standard 12th?
No, no, no. In graduation. In graduation.
In graduation. So what do you mean by graduation?
No. In direct entry. So first I talked about after 12th standard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Now this direct entry, the second route is direct entry route. So this route meaning you can skip the foundation level. You can go directly in the intermediate level.
Okay.
Why? Because you are already a graduate.
Okay.
Yeah. So like for example, you are a BCom student. And
Okay.
you say you have scored more than 55%. So you can skip
your
the foundation.
BCom, after your BCom, if you are a 55% in BCom, then you can directly skip. You can skip the foundation and go into intermediate.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
It's then remaining all remains the same.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah. So and because this is a correspondence course, and ICI wants to keep the students updated with the latest technology, they have small courses in between. Like after completion of your intermediate, they have certain courses like orientation. Like they teach you all about the orientation, meaning they introduce you to the chartered accountancy course. Then there is something called as information technology. They give you training uh, of computers and the like hardware and software, the accounting software, etc. So this basically there are four courses, I think. Orientation, and this also teaches you the soft skills,
Okay.
management skills.
Okay.
This they have introduced because this is a correspondence course. There is no interaction with the faculty, or there is very less scope for developing your soft skill and all this practical technical skills. So because of this, there are small courses. It's a compulsory courses, so that you have to do. Like there are after intermediate you have to do something, before final you have to do something, after final, like that. So you can go into if you want to check this in detail, you can just download the prospectus from the site ici.org, and you'll get to know what exactly are the courses in it. Okay. So basically what I'm trying to say is, even if you're not going into colleges, ICI takes care that whatever you miss by not going into colleges, it is covered up in these courses.
It is sent to you at your home, or it is
Sorry?
It is sent to you at your home, or is it's covered through all these orientation courses? Or
but there are like 10 days, 15 days courses.
Yeah.
You have to go to the center.
Oh, you have to go to the center. Okay.
Yes.
Just because we are covering the aspects of becoming a CA, can you also briefly touch upon how do you prepare for CA, all these intermediate, finals, and foundation exams?
Okay.
You said there are no coaching is not required, but there are coaching institutes. What are your tips on how to prepare for the
Okay, so basically there is I don't know whether to call it as misconception, but yeah.
I mean, we can talk about misconceptions later, but maybe.
Yeah, okay. So basically people think that the CA course is a difficult course and you need to be a very a genius boy or a girl to become a CA. It's nothing like that. You just need to two major things you need is your dedication and hard work. Okay. So basically, if you ask me this thing, chartered accountancy course, how it is designed doesn't need any coaching. But if you ask me, I had taken coaching classes. It helps. It helps, meaning obviously when someone teaches you, a good faculty teaches you, it helps. Okay. So Yeah, there are coaching classes, there are private coaching classes, and nowadays the everything is online. So there is satellite coaching classes. So people, students do take that, and it helps. Then exam, if you ask me, exam, yes, it's difficult to crack it because the syllabus is huge. So you have to manage time, and you have to put more effort, more dedication, and more hard work. And I think if these two things are there, and if you're an average intellectual person, then I think you can crack it easily.
Great. That is very motivating. The next aspect would be the cost of education, right?
Yeah.
So if you want to start after your 12th standard till the time that you get your CA degree, and even beyond CA, like if you want to do, if you are after you become a professional, what is the total cost of education? That's the first part. And the second part is are there any costs, miscellaneous cost after becoming a CA?
Yeah.
Like, for
So
example,
if you,
doctors need to have some machinery, or dentists need to have some machinery set up. That's kind of the cost that I'm talking after becoming a professional. Similar to
okay.
that, what is it for the CA?
Okay, if you ask me, what is the cost, monetary cost involved in completing this course, I
Yeah.
would say nothing, or it will be zero.
Okay.
Surprising, right? So basically, I have a slide over here. So fee structure, I'm just giving you a brief idea.
Yeah.
For foundation course, the registration fees and this thing,
Those are barely those
prospectus
are
and this thing,
minimal. Okay.
it is around 9,200, and intermediaries, everything including, it is 18,000. Final, it is 22,000, and there are 4 courses which I told you about. So there are like 6,500 one course, then 7,000, 7,500, 7,000. So total course fee is, as per the ICI, this thing is 77,200.
Okay.
Okay, so
That is much
let's
cheaper
take it as
compared to.
80,000 round figure.
Okay.
Okay.
Sure.
So this is the cost, actual cost involved. Now it will differ in the number of attempts you take. Okay,
Okay.
and this excludes your coaching classes, because ICI doesn't have coaching classes, or they don't recommend any of our coaching classes. So this is just for course. Okay,
Okay.
so if people want to get into coaching classes, then that cost will add to this. Okay. Now, why do I say this becomes zero? Is because I told you that there is a on-job training, the internship, that is,
Yeah.
we call it articleship. Here
Your
you earn.
Yeah, it's an
Okay,
intern, a paid
you
internship.
get a stipend, and it is not like, as per the law, the ICI, as per CA Act, okay, 1949. This people who undergo this training, they have to be compulsorily paid. I am just giving you the breakup of this thing. This is, mind you, this is just a minimum stipend which ICI recommend,
Has
wants a CA to pay. Okay, so that there are 3 categories based on the cities. The bigger cities where population is more than 20 lakhs, then there is 4 to 20 lakhs population cities, and there are cities below 4 lakhs. Okay, so first year, I'm talking about the big company, big cities. So first year it is 2,000, then second year it is 2,500, and third year is 3,000 per month. Okay,
Okay.
so minimum is 90,000. Then in tier 2 cities, it is 1,500 first year, 2,000, 2,500. So total becomes 72,000 for 3 years. And the small cities, it is 1,000, 1,500, and 2,000. Total become 54,000. So this ICI wants, it's by law, you have to,
Paid
the people
interns.
who undergoes this articleship training will get this, the minimum one. But this is my experience, nobody pays this much. They pay always more than this. Okay, so you earn while you study. So all your cost which is incurred of, say, 77, whatever odd figure was that, so you recover this while doing the course, because that is very
Very interesting. This is very interesting.
yeah, very interesting, and it doesn't happen in each and every course.
Of course.
So yeah, you earn and you recover the cost basically.
Okay.
Okay, so this is as far as monetary cost is. Other cost is, you have to put in lot of effort and lot of time.
Sure.
Okay, so you can say that पैसा कुछ नहीं लगता, लेकिन
बहुत ज्यादा.
मेहनत बहुत लगती है.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
So yeah, so this
After
4
you
5
become a
years.
CA. let's talk about after you become a CA. What are some of the job roles that one can hold? I know some of the CAs who have their own practices. What are some of the job roles that one can hold after becoming a CA? And what is the kind of lifestyle that a CA has in these various roles? Maybe in terms of the work-life balance. Also, what are the pros and cons of working in each and every such role? Maybe if you can talk briefly on that,
Yeah.
based on your
So
experience and your
basically,
years.
basically, once you complete your CA, you can go into practice. You can apply for a certificate of practice, and you can go into a practice. You can go into industry. You can go into employment jobs. You can start your business, or you can go for further studies, or maybe government UPSC exams or something like that. So I'll talk about practice, because business, the sky is the limit. You can do whatever you do after this thing. You don't, or rather, okay, I'll briefly discuss that also. So first is practice.
Yeah.
Okay, so practice is what, this is one of the very few courses where you can directly after qualifying as a CA, you can set up an office and start your practice. Okay, so in practice, you basically like, there are fields you can whatever you, or you can do practice in all these fields which I'm talking about. One is taxation. You can consult, or you can file returns, etc. from taxation. You can be a consultant, you can be a tax planner for any company or any firm, an individual. So, and you can further, you can be a specialized in GST, that is goods and service tax, or income tax, or excise duties, or custom duties, or value added tax, like that. Okay. And okay, just before continuing, when you had asked me about specialization, there
Yeah.
is no specialization as such. You have to study everything. So whatever experience which you get, through that you become a specialized person in that field. Okay. ICI, after qualification, have certain courses, like certificate course on GST, certificate course on financial management, and then information technology, auditing, like that.
Okay.
So you
But
can
it's not
just
mandatory. It's not
it's
mandatory.
not mandatory. It's not mandatory. So basically, specialization comes from
Your experience.
your own experience. Okay, so you can practice in all this thing, or you can be a specialized in GST. Suppose you are a specialized consultant of GST, so you can only consult, or practice as a auditor, or limiting yourself to GST. So this is as far as taxation is concerned. Then you can give services of accounting. You can prepare financial statements with bigger companies. You can do the compliances as per the Indian standards, or if the company is a multinational company, you can give service of compiling their data as per the international standards, Indian standards, US standards,
I think
etc.
this comes under the area of it comes under practicing your own
Practice, yes,
practicing your
yes.
own with your own
Like
firm.
I'm an individual. I can have multiple clients who come to me, and I give this services
Sure.
to them.
What are the pros and cons of working? I mean, having this job role.
Practice.
Yes.
Yeah. Practice, basically you are your own boss.
Okay.
Okay. And here the sky is the limit,
In terms
because
of
in terms
time.
of financial also, you can it depends on number of clients you take, the quality of clients you take, the quality of the services which you give.
But I think the source
uh,
of income will not be constant, right?
yes, that's the disadvantage of it. But once you go into it and you earn, this is a profession where it builds on trust. Once a person comes to you and you give a good services, he remains with you, unless you do some blunder or something like that, but otherwise it's a constant this thing. So
How is the
yeah, this
lifestyle of a CA who practices?
CA in practice,
Like,
it
is
all
there a
depends on how you take it.
work-life balance, or you have to work in?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So it all depends on how you take it. There comes certain time wherein you have to slog a lot because of the due dates. Now, for example, usually September is the tax audit season. 30th September is the last day. So basically in CA offices, you'll see August, September, they work overtime. Okay, so then later on, it's a relaxed time. So it's not this thing, but you can easily manage it by planning the work, like the financial years ends at March. From that day onwards, you can plan how you'll work on it, and then you can have a very good this thing work life balances. Only thing is that because of little uncertainties nowadays, there are little this thing, but it can be managed. And one more thing is that it's not that it's not an hectic job like doctors and all, where there are emergency cases you
Night
have
duty.
to wake up in maybe
Middle
midnight
of
and
the night.
go. Yeah, so nothing like that. You can plan this, you can very well plan this. All the due dates etc are
Sure. Yeah, sure.
it's there, it's it before. So you can have that work life balances, and there is no issue. All depends on the
What about
this
the
thing.
other job roles?
Yeah, I think
You spoke about
practice.
practice.
Yeah, practice. Yeah, in practice also you can give financial management service, or you can be a financial consultant. So where like for example, if you want to take a loan and you need to approach a bank asks for various projections,
Yeah.
then the project report etc, then CAs can help in this. So this is as a or rather as a practitioner I'm talking about. So you can various people come to you and you do the
Yeah.
this thing. And plus auditing, I forgot to mention about auditing. So auditing under companies law, under income tax law, GST, so this audits can be done by a practitioner only. So this is one aspect. Then second is the job or employment. You can same thing you can do with the under an employer. Okay, so there are basically I would categorize this into two. The first one is working under a CA firm, and second is working in an industry. Okay, so working in a CA firm is like you do all this thing but you assist a CA.
Okay.
Okay, and industry, like there is a there is a huge scope there. Like in industry you can join as an accountant. You will overlook all the accounting. Then you can be as a consultant also, full-time consultant in a company. Like big companies, like Reliance, Tatas and all, they have full-time consultant of GST, full-time consultant of income tax,
Okay.
etc. So yeah, so in taxation part you can be a consultant. You can be also financial consultant, full-time financial consultant. Then you can go into banking, because nowadays I've seen most of the banks, they prefer CA over other this thing, because they have in-depth knowledge. Now you must have heard many cases, fraud cases and all. So the one of the major blunder what the banks did, they did not read the financials properly, or rather they, even if they've read, they have not gone into say, one step further to judge whether it is genuine or not.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, so that in banking sector also you can have a good career. Then in investments, like in share market, you can assist a trader, or you can be a trader.
Okay.
Then you can be a there are companies, investment companies, which hire CA for analysis of theirs. So because CA having a very good knowledge of reading the balance sheet and this thing, so they can will be a better judge to suggest which companies to buy, the shares to buy, etc. So that can be one of these things. Then uh, mm,
I
what
think
else?
that's about it.
Yeah, so there
Okay.
are many, because
Sure,
CA
sure.
course is such that there are many people, many companies, they need for specific job they hire CA,
Got it.
because they have a lot of, in short, I mean, I'll just quote Mr. Ratan Tata. Everybody knows him.
Yeah.
So once he said that I need MBAs to run my business, but I need CAs to teach the MBAs how to run the business. Okay, so that is the depth of knowledge which we CAs have, and yeah, so accordingly you can choose the field which you want
Sure.
in
Now
employment.
coming
And
to a
third
very
thing comes on, just briefly, third thing come the business.
okay.
Okay, So business, obviously anyone can do business, but chartered accountant will do it more systematically. He knows where to say, where to, he knows about the cost of borrowing. He knows about the leakages. He knows about auditing everything. So he'll be a better person to, be a
Okay.
good businessman. So one famous example which I can think of is Mr. Kumar Mangalam Billa, okay, from Aditya Billa Group. So he's a chartered accountant.
Okay.
And one more example I can think, this is in terms of trading, is Rakesh Junjunwala. He's also a chartered accountant.
Yeah. Coming to a very another important aspect that people in the audience would like to know is, if someone wants to become a CA, what are some of the personal attributes or qualities that one needs to have? You mentioned that the CA course is very vast, so I'm assuming that you need a very hardworking individual
Yes,
and someone with a lot
hard work and dedication.
and dedication. Yes. What are some of the other personal attributes, qualities, and skills that one needs to have to become a successful chartered accountant?
Okay, to become a chartered accountant,
Even
I
like
would.
to going through that process of becoming a chartered accountant. Do you
Yeah.
need to
So
also be
this.
good in math? Do you also need to be good in quantitative analysis?
Okay, if you ask me, I think this is objective question.
Okay.
If you ask me, if you're on an average, you are very good enough to become CA.
Okay.
Okay, because you need knowledge of maths, and which stream doesn't? Okay, so
Yeah.
basic knowledge of maths. There are little higher level of maths, but I think the average people can pick it up very easily.
Yeah.
Then. Yeah, basically you have to be average, not, it doesn't need, you need to have a brain of an Einstein
Okay.
to, in fact, just like whenever I get this thing opportunity, I always tell Einstein, I think, once said that the most complex thing in this world is to understand income tax. Okay, so yeah, even if you are brainy, then it all depends on this thing, person to person. So basically, you need to be analytical, okay, because you after all, it's all how you analyze the balance sheet and everything. So you need to have that liking of that. Then maybe you should be fair enough in, I mean, not very good, but good enough to in numbers. uh, then communication skill, because as an auditor in this thing, you have to communicate. By communication, I don't mean you need to have a very good polished English, or like that, but the communication, how you communicate, or rather how you present the.
Skills.
Yeah, so that is there. And I think you should be good in commerce. You should have some basic
And liking towards the commerce subject.
towards commerce, yeah. And you should have you should be, you should have liking towards business, because if you understand business, you'll be a good chartered accountant.
You need to have a business mind.
I won't say business mind, but you should understand business.
Okay.
Yeah, and after going through this course, you automatically develop that business mind.
Develop, and you need to be hardworking, and you need to have dedication in addition
Yes,
to all.
that goes without saying. Because see, what happens is passing in this exam becomes little challenging. So you should have that patience also.
Okay. Yeah. I need to ask you one specific question. How do you think the field will evolve in the next 5 to 10 years, and what are some of the challenges that you see down the line for a chartered accountant?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in simple terms, what is the scope of a chartered accountant in the future?
Okay, so currently in future, it's a cliche. I think I would say that there will be a huge scope. But why I'm saying this is because this is one of the few courses where demand exceeds supply. Okay, so supply of chartered accountants in market is very less, because passing percentage is very less, whereas demand is more. Now demand is specifically more because India is growing, the economy is growing. Okay, and people have understood the importance of CAs. So earlier, what people used to prefer a BCom, MCom. Now they want CA because they know that he does good justice to that this thing. Like for example, earlier for credit manager they were not insisting on CA, but now they want CA because CA has all this knowledge. So they have a uh, good workforce.
Okay.
Okay, so basically many companies they want CAs to come in their companies, and because of this the demand has demand for CAs have increased, and it is increasing day by day. And as and when as India is growing, as the economy is growing, there will be more and more demand, but the supply is very less because the passing percentage is very low. And one more thing is that in industry, many people go in the practice. Okay, so then industry face the problem, and in practice, like there are many businesses who need CA. The CAs are already overburdened, and then people approach
So there is a
more
lot of
more and more
there's a lot of
work.
scope for CAs.
Yeah, so there is a lot of scope in coming years. That is for sure.
Yeah.
And as far as challenges are concerned, yes, now CAs, it's not like maybe in engineering, whatever, maybe mechanical engineer, whatever, the pulley and this thing, all those.
Yeah.
I'm not a technical guy. You must be knowing that.
Yeah, that is
The same that principle. Once you study, it will be constant, right?
Yes.
It will not change. The laws of science will not change.
Yeah.
But in CA profession, the laws changes now. Till 2-3 years back, we didn't have any GST. Now GST is altogether new laws. There is constant changes in income tax. Then there are changes. There are some certain outdated laws. Okay, so
the field is constantly evolving, and you need to keep.
yes. So it is not like
you
once.
need to be updated with the latest.
Exactly. So it is not like once you clear your chartered accountant, okay, my studies are over. No, you have to constantly update your knowledge.
Okay.
Like every year with the budget, there are a lot of changes in income tax. You have to study the whole thing again.
Okay, I see. That
So
is
like
the
that.
challenge.
So that's the challenge. You have to be updated. If you are not updated, I don't think you can continue long in this profession.
I have a follow-up question. You mentioned that the pass percentage is very low in CA. So a question to you is, if someone does not become a CA, or he is fed up of giving all these exams, if not CA, then what next, which is maybe closest to CA?
Okay, like first, I think why you're doing CA, that is also very important. Okay, because there are certain things, if you want to go into practice, if you want to audit, if you want to sign a report, okay, there is no second best option for that, because you need to become a CA in order to sign it. Because the laws, like companies law, income tax act, they give only chartered accountants who can sign this report. So there is no substitute for chartered accountants as such. So if people want to do all these things, then they have no other option but to become a chartered accountant. But like if you telling me about in terms of in job or something like that, so then you can go for MBA, finance. So this is closest possible. Then there is something called as CFA, Chartered Financial Analyst. Then there is some CPA, that is US based this thing which you can do here. Then even MCom with specialization on finance. So this is all this thing, but it cannot be a substitute for CA.
I see. Interesting.
Yeah, and that's the reason in spite of passing percentage becoming so less, many students go into it, and with attempts after attempts, they still with determination they stay back.
So CA has a lot of value in the commerce industry.
Yes, true, and that's the reason it is worth having so much of effort, and I won't say wasting of time, but putting so much of time of your youth.
Sure. I think we have covered most of the aspects of this profession, but there was one, I interrupted you when you were talking about the misconceptions that people have regarding the CA course and the profession. Do you want to talk about it? Some of
From students' point of view, there are many misconceptions.
Yeah, I think that would be more beneficial
yes,
for the audience.
Basically people, the students get afraid of the passing percentage. Okay, So this passing percentage, yes, it is less, but it's not impossible, because now what happens is there are 100 people appearing for the exam. There out of that 100, I think mostly 40 to 50% students will just give it for sake of giving. They won't be, they won't study or like that. So basically you should see how many students have actually studied for that and how many has passed. So if you give a very good, I mean,
If you're very
if you
serious about it, then you will definitely.
yes, then the chances of passing is high. So, and that percentage, it's overall percentage, right? So
If you take off people who are not serious, then
yeah, and one more thing is it's very difficult. I would say it's not that difficult. Yes, it is vast. So then there comes your skill of managing that time, how much time you put for which subject, and how you manage your studies, and that is important. But as far as difficulty level is concerned, no, it's not like
not like very
uh,
very difficult. Okay.
yes. I told you about Albert Einstein, right? What he
Yeah.
said about income tax. So it's not about only the brain. Okay, it's about all other skills also.
Interesting. Okay. And what is the misconception about CA profession? Not about maybe clearing exam.
Okay, CA profession, basically what people think when you become a CA, you just open an office and sit over there and file returns and this thing. No, CA is beyond that.
Okay.
Okay, so now I told you various
Yeah. So there
this
is
thing.
this very very vibrant profession from what I understand from you. A lot of scope,
Yes,
and
yes,
you can sit at home. There's not a lot of cost of the education of becoming a CA.
yes,
Okay, great.
yes. And it's
So,
basically the one more thing, the CA is this thing, it's being a standardized course. Okay, once you become a CA, you fall in the same category.
okay.
Okay, there won't be a question like in terms of engineering or even medicine.
Yeah,
This
there
thing,
is no
I am graduate
discrimination.
from IIT, I'm graduate from NIT, I'm graduate from this thing. You don't have to tell anything, you're CA. And once you become a CA, the two letters, that is CA, you can use in front of your name, and it's a huge pride. I'll just share my experience. Like when I was a student of a CA, I was like an ordinary, sadharan admi tha, and suddenly when the result came, everybody, okay, he's a CA, this thing, and then people call you with that name.
It's a very
And
respected
once you,
profession. I understand.
yes, it's very reputation, and actually more than money, the reputation counts, because you can make money from various sources, various ways, but this the reputation which CA, I'm not saying only CAs get it. Like there are many professions. There are one of very few professions which get, just based on those two words, people automatically, the perception of looking at you differs.
True.
Yeah, like if I introduce myself as Sandesh Gavandalkar, I think reaction will be X.
Different
Okay.
than CS
Or,
English.
yeah, and when I say CA Sandesh Gavandalkar, people, oh, okay, like that.
Interesting. So thanks a lot for sharing about like talking about your experience and talking about the various aspects of the profession. Before we wind up, is there one piece of advice that you would like to give to people who are listening to this, to your talk, in terms of maybe career or any professional advice that you would like to give? Maybe in
Uh,
choosing a career or later on in their profession.
okay, yeah. See, I think this is mostly are from 10th standard.
Yeah, within that age group. Yeah.
Yeah, so I would say don't take so much of tension. It's a good thing that you have organized all these things. As you told me that you have brought so many professionals and people who are in different fields, and
Yeah.
it's very good for me. I mean, I was not that fortunate enough to know all these things. Basically, students, they don't know what exactly are the the future, the streams, the courses, etc., in the future. So they are very confused, but no problem, this is very good time. But don't be so much of this thing, because it is. And one more thing, this is very early stage to know your liking, because I don't know whether to blame it on the education system or something like that. Now, for example, I had no idea what CA does, what was CA till 10th standard, 11, 12, because I went into commerce. I had little bit of idea. So yes, you should know all these things, but it's
It's
very early. You have to have a informed decision. Take your time, okay? And I think they should attend more of your this thing,
Thank
so
you.
that they know little bit of all, or at least most of the career options. And yeah, and please go after, like, if you have liking, if you develop a liking in certain this thing, I think your passion is the biggest motivator. So whatever you feel that you're good in, or what that is your passion, I think you should go for that,
Yeah.
and money will automatically come after. Yeah, I think this is a dialogue from Three Idiots, but yeah, it is very relevant. And yeah, I would wish all the students all the best for their 10th exam.
Yeah.
And they have a lot of time now to think about the career options, so they should take a informed decision.
Great. So thanks, Sandesh, for coming on this platform and sharing a lot of valuable information. I'm sure people in the audience must have benefited from this talk of yours. So thanks again for doing this. If there are any questions in the audience, I think it's the time we look at them.
Yeah, sure,
If
sure.
someone from the audience has any question related to the profession, please feel free to write your name in the chat, or you can directly type the question in the chat and I can read it out to CA Sandesh.
It's a good question. I forgot to mention it. ICI, our parent body, they have a lot of MOUs with various countries. Okay, like Australia, England, US. So they have a lot of understanding with this. So then, if you go out, see, basically financial management, it's same all around, or mostly it is same. Okay, so only the basic local tax laws that differs. Okay, so ICI's MOUs with various countries, wherein, if you want to go there and set up a practice, or if you want to take that degree, like for example, say USCP, or maybe CA from Australia, so they have this MOUs. You can go on the site, go on the site, and you can see ici.org. You can see what are the MOUs, or which countries they have signed MOUs. So you can skip the exams over there, or there are certain countries you can go directly and practice based on the degree which you get in India. But there are some certain countries where you can skip some of the exams, and you can give very limited exams, so that you'll know their tax laws, and then you can set up a practice, or you can join a business company. And plus, if you ask me about the job, the CA course is such that it has, and now because introduction of India as an IFRS, the CAs are getting knowledge of that. So many MNCs which are based in India, or maybe a foreign MNC which works in India, they prefer Indian CA. And lot of scope. And plus, if you like in practice also, uh, you have a good access to those countries.
Interesting. Okay, that's good to know for people who are interested in going abroad.
Yes. So because basically, because you're a chartered accountant here, you get some relaxation of, say, exams or whatever in the countries where MOU is signed by the ICA.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks. I think we have sorry. I think we have one question. I have two questions from the audience. One, what is articleship? If you want to take that up. I think you already mentioned it. Articleship is like internship. But
It
if you
is like
want
an
to
internship.
elaborate.
It is part of the course. Articleship is a internship which you have to compulsorily go do under a CA. Okay, practicing chartered accountant. He may be practicing in any field, but he should be a certificate of practice holder. and you have to do it's just like a job. You have to go there, you have to do job, you learn from it, and yeah, basically that is article. And the main thing is that it has to be under a CA. You have to register yourself, and you have to mention which CA firm you're doing this.
Okay.
So it depends on the liking of the students, like whether they want to specialize in say indirect taxes, suppose say GST. They will go in firm where that firm practice mostly in GST.
Okay.
Same if you want to do an international taxation or maybe in income tax, so you choose your CA firm.
Yeah, sure. So and alongside you get paid.
Yes, you get the stipend. That is mandatorily to be paid because it is governed by ICA, and you do this articleship under a CA. Those CAs are obliged to pay.
Okay. Thank you for that. We have another question. What is the starting salary if a fresh CA joins industry? I think that component, which you.
Okay, it differs, but on an average salary, if you want a figure, I think around
You can
7
give a
to
range maybe. Or
7 to 9 lakhs
per
maybe
annum.
in state like Goa, but I think in metros and all it will go up. But and then maybe in within depending on your performance and everything, it may rise up to 25-30 lakhs within 3-4 years, depending on that. And plus, like which field or which industry also you go in, that also determines your this thing. But on an average, companies and all, they pay you 7 to 9 lakhs, and depending on your experience, like from which firm you have
7 to 9 lakhs
done
per
your
annum,
articles.
right? Just to be sure.
Sorry,
7 to 9 lakhs per annum, right? Just to be sure.
per annum. Okay. No, this is just like normal this thing. It all depends on the experience. There are cases where there are package of 30 lakhs, 40 lakhs, 50 lakhs in India. Then abroad, I think there was some 80 lakhs. I'm not sure. I should not comment on that. But yeah, there is this thing. But I'm talking about an average this thing. But
Sure.
it's just like entry thing. Then once you go
Once
into
you have an
this thing,
experience, you can climb the ladder.
yes. Then there are certain things like where you do articleship. That experience counts, right? So people give weightage to that also. The companies give weightage to that also, and plus your academic background also. Like if you are a graduate in, say, suppose if you are if you have done BCom from a very reputed this thing, then that will add to your package like that.
Okay. I hope that answers the question. We have another question which says, which reads as, along with articleship, how do you manage the study pattern?
Okay. See, after the intermediate, you do your articleship, right? So your articleship and your final studies will go hand in hand. So there are basically 3 years. So what you can do is for this 3 years, I think there is some, I'm not sure about it, but I think around 5 months study leave. So you can take that leave for your studies. You can manage your studies during that time, the full-fledged studies. And articleship, I would say, like there are subjects like income tax, there are subjects like auditing, there are subjects like accounting, which you can do while doing a job. Like for example, if you are working on a case, say capital gains of any company, you can start studying capital gains, so you are thorough with your studies also, plus you do that case also. Otherwise, mostly and okay, the articleship has the time limit. You cannot go beyond that time, so you find a lot of time. So then what if what I've seen from people, I've done my coaching classes from Pune. So what they do is they do early morning or late evening classes after articleship, or before articleship starts, or after article, the timing. So that way you can do manage, and 3 years is a lot of time. So you can slowly start doing it, and once you are into that study leave of 5 months, you can do it full-fledged, the I mean the whole day, whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
I hope that answers the question. Another question: how much percentage is required if we need to pass CA?
Okay.
I'm not sure at what level this percentage.
Okay. Basically, CAs has a unique pattern of passing. Foundation, there are 4 subjects, I think. I think that I'll just have to go through it. So what exactly is the basic formula is individual subjects you need minimum 40% passing mark, and aggregate you need 50%. Okay, so like intermediate and final, there are 2 groups. One group consists of 4 subjects. So in 4 subjects, and it is group wise. Okay, so in 4 subjects, you need to have minimum 40% passing mark in individual subject. Sorry, and overall, like of all the 4 subjects, the total should cross 50% of aggregate. Okay, and if you answer both, then it applies to 4 plus 4, 8 subjects. 8 subjects individually you should secure at least 40% in individual subjects and 50% overall aggregate. Okay, and one more thing is, because of this, actually it's very difficult to pass CA. Is even if you fail in one subject, if you get 35% in one subject, okay, you might have got 50% overall. But if you have secured less than 40% in one subject, the whole group you have to
You have to take all
answer
the 4
again.
subjects again.
Yes. Unless you get an exemption of, say, in any subject you score more than 60%, then, so suppose in one group there are 4 subjects, right? So in one subject, say accounting, you are very good at it and you secured 60% plus marks in that. So in next attempt, you give only 3 papers out of 4. Okay. So that marks will be considered in that attempt. Okay. So that is the only thing why this is difficult, because even if you don't, like, if you pass in all the subjects with 40%, but if you get say 49% aggregate, then you don't clear. You have to give all the subjects again. I see. So that's the tricky part of it, and that's that is how it is. Okay, interesting. Yeah.
The next question: what is the salary of a CA in Australia or other countries, if you have any idea about it?
I have no idea, but I don't know. There will be, Australia has their own chartered accountancy body. So if you have cleared from that, there will be certain this thing. I have no idea, so I should not comment about that.
Yeah, but I think that can be found online or any other.
Yeah. And if you're talking about CAs from here, it all depends on the companies, and plus if like they need certain, as I told you, if they need their own CAs, so then CA from India will have to answer that exam. And I think we'll have to check online. ICI must be having some MOUs with that, so that you can skip some of the levels.
Okay. I think that's about it. No more questions from the audience. So I think it's the time we close the session. So thank you once again, Sandesh, for coming on this platform, and all the best for your future.
Yeah, thank you very much, Saurabh. And I would again like to congratulate you. And I really appreciate you doing this for the students, because when I was in 10th standard, I knew there were 2-3 this thing. Either you become an engineer, doctor, a CA, or lawyer, like that. So, but as you told me, there's so many people who have come on this platform and shared their knowledge. It's very good that students learn all these things at this level, and I think it will help them a lot. And I once again thank you, and wish you all the best in all this I won't say venture, whatever the
initiative
initiative which you have taken. It's very good. Okay, Chalo.